Broadcasting from an undisclosed location under a farm pond somewhere in the Midwest. Your host is Jim Crowley. This is Slickfish Radio.
And we are back. Man, that was quick since the last time we all saw one another. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Sleekfish Radio. I am your cute, charming, and somewhat modest host, Jim Crowley. I am so glad to be back here tonight. Great guest we got on the show tonight. My buddy Ryan Kirkpatrick. He's a sales manager for Precision Sonar. And all the mounts on my boat are Precision Sonar mounts, but they have so many more products in that. So look forward to talking to Ryan in just a little bit. And glad you all are coming on tonight. So as we always tell you, wherever you are at, wherever you're from, please feel free to chime in. Let us know where you're from. And it was a great week last week. I got to do a fundraiser for St. Jude over at Tremont High School, Fishing for a Cure. And what a great job run by all those people over there. I think they ended up raising something like $7,000. I think for St. Jude, just an absolutely incredible time over there. Got to see a bunch of the high school kids. I think there was like over 100 tables they had for like a tackle swap type thing. So it was a lot of fun. It was pretty cool. And so Ted Koski just hopped on again. Hey Ted, how you doing? Glad to have you here, man. And everybody else who's watching, like I said, let us know where you're from. I think last week we had like 5 or 6 different states. That was a lot of fun, man. I really do appreciate you all doing that. So always glad that you all join us. And if any of you follow us on social media, remember you can follow me on social media. Everything is Jim Crowley Outdoors. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And also, Lure Parts Online is now on a bunch of different social media. Besides their Facebook page, they also have TikTok and YouTube. And so there's new videos going up there a couple times a week. They've got a whole bunch of new products coming out, especially for our Bass Academy line. Just launched a new video today that showed just some of the products, but there's just a whole ton of stuff. So as always, at the end of the show, we're going to be giving out discount codes, but make sure you follow Lure Parts Online on Instagram and TikTok, on YouTube and TikTok, because we will have different discount codes for you there as well. Also, our friends over at Cast King, I've got some new products coming in from them soon, so I'll be doing some videos on some of the new products that they're going to launch, and you might be able to see some of this stuff before iCast or leading up to iCast anyway. We can't release them too soon. So, but I know we're always going to have a lot of great stuff from Cast King. There's always a bunch of new products, and we're going to have a great discount code for them as well. And as usual, I am caffeined up. Always got to have my coffee from Wire to Fish Coffee, and we're going to be giving a discount code for them at the end of the show as well. And everybody that I've talked to that have turned on to the coffee said they really, really like it. So please make sure if you want a coffee that literally supports our sport as well as faith-based initiatives, and just go check out wiretofishcoffee.com. They're pretty impressive. They are literally trying to change things for the better, one cup of coffee at a time. So we are glad to have them on the show. Our friends over at Mudhole. Now, if you sign up there, you get 10% off on your first order. So go over to Mudhole right now. Just a lot of, and there's going to be more sales coming up here in the middle of March. Stay tuned to my social media for that, and you can also follow Mudhole on all that stuff. They have fantastic social media, and I've always said you will never fish a finer rod than one you design and build yourself, and we can help you get started with that over at Mudhole. Really easy to do, and oh, Lila Renker's on. Hi, Lila, how you doing? That's Wisconsin right there. So there's a couple states tuning in tonight. So thank you very much for all being here. Our friends over at Dakota Lithium, going to be giving out discount code for them at the end of the show too. Remember, they have an 11-year warranty, great customer service. Check out our friends over at Dakota Lithium and Shields, who I mentioned in the first part of the show, where I'm going to be this weekend. I think my seminar this weekend is on crankbaits. We're going to be covering some of the new Rapala stuff that Shields has. So we're going to be doing, that's going to be a lot of fun. That's always a good event. So glad you guys are all here. I'm going to bring in the man of the hour, or the man of the 40 minutes. Hi, Ryan. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, how we doing, Jim?
Good. It looks like things have settled down over to Kirkpatrick household.
For now. I wish you wouldn't have said that. You might have jinxed things.
That's right. You're never going to say, "Oh, we're gonna catch him tomorrow," because that's the thing that'll curse you, right?
That's exactly right.
For people who aren't familiar with Precision Sonar. You're the sales manager over there. Why don't you break down a little bit? Because there's when we first met, you even got a lot more products from a couple years ago when we met. So why don't you tell people, especially in that new beautiful building you guys are in, why don't you tell people what Precision Sonar is all about?
Yeah, absolutely. So we started the company started right at about 10 years ago, making mounts to mount the electronics onto all the different bass boats and crappie boats and walleye boats and everything. We've got a wide assortment, pretty much. Uh, just about any year, make, and model, we've got it. If we don't have it, we can make it to mount any sort of electronics from 5-inch units all the way up to we're doing the NBT 22-inch units. So pretty much you name it, we've got it for the mounts, and we've kind of just evolved into kind of a one-stop shop for all of your fishing needs. Anything that you need to rig your boat, we've pretty much got it, from wiring harnesses to run your wiring to all your electronics. We've got our lithium battery lineup now. We've got any sort of accessories like screen protectors, that tempered glass screen protectors, same thing you put on your cell phone, protects those units from any sort of impact or anything like that. Um, we've got one of our new products that you're going to be getting your hands on here soon. I know you had ordered some, and we're going to be shipping them out here, hopefully, come Friday. Is the new Precision Graph Locks, all machined aluminum graph locks to lock your units in on the mounts. Make sure no one's going to be stealing them. Keep them secure. If you stop at the gas station on the way home from the lake, you don't have to be sitting there peeking out the window, waiting in line to get up to the counter, making sure no one's stealing your electronics. You've kind of got a little bit more peace of mind. So that's one product we're pretty proud of, and we're extremely happy to see that hit the market. We've got a couple other things coming down the pipe, and then also we've kind of launched a new brand, I guess you could say. It's High Tech Hunting. We've got an electric tree stand lift that we're manufacturing. So a lot of disabled people, older people, people that love to get up in a tree stand and deer hunt, now have a way to get back into a tree stand. People that aren't comfortable with climbing into a tree, you get on this tree stand and you hit a button and it takes you right up to the top. You're sitting up there 15, 20 feet high, and enjoying the outdoors just like you always have. So that's something that we're really excited for this year. Just released it.
Yeah, I remember seeing it when I was down there last time, and what really impressed me about it is how quiet it was.
Yeah.
And we don't have a picture of it here, but you can go to Precision. You can find it on precisionsonar.com, can't you?
We've actually got it on a completely separate website right
Okay,
now, hytechhunting.com,
high tech one.
HYTEK
Okay,
hunting.com. And you can go check it out there. We're taking pre-orders right now. We're going to be shipping it sometime this spring, shipping all the orders out. So, uh, but it's like you said. I mean, it's super quiet. That was kind of the first thing. I like to consider myself kind of an avid deer hunter, and that was the first thing I said is, okay, well, cool, that's great, but how quiet's it going to be? Is it going to be making a bunch of noise in the dark in the woods, letting everybody know, hey, we're climbing up the tree, and you can't even hear it. I mean,
right.
it's silent. So the basic kit that we sell is it comes with three 5-inch sections, or I'm sorry, 5-foot sections. So you've got your base section, and then you've got your top section. That middle section is kind of a universal section. So we're going to sell that middle section separate, so you can go up to 20 feet if
Wow.
you wanted to. The standard kit is going to be 15 feet total. You can add that middle section in though, and get a little bit higher. I won't get in a tree stand anymore without a lifeline to go up.
Sure.
I know so many people that have fallen out just being on the steps getting into the stand, and so we've got an attachment that goes on the stand so that as you're riding up, it pulls your lifeline up behind you, so you
Very
don't
cool.
have to sit there and go up. And it's the little things like that that I really enjoy. So pretty cool to see everything kind of come together. And this has been a work in progress for a while, and so happy that it's hitting the market now.
But the company of Precision Sonar is about safety anyway, not just to sell products. Since we're talking about safety, I'm going to bring up this is probably one of your number one selling products, and that's the leash. And so this is the second boat that I've had one on, and I get asked about it once in a while too. And we've done some videos in the past on it, and people are like, well, what does that actually do? And I've explained it as kind of like a seatbelt for your engine, because these motors get more powerful, and sometimes it can happen no matter how good your electronics are. I have been on places where your electronics don't mark everything, and I don't care what brand it is, there are times when that stuff does not happen. And would you give your explanation of what the leash has, because you've probably seen more of the results of it than anybody?
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I refer to it as a seatbelt all the time. You know, the leash is a safety tether that goes around the back of the motor, and the design purpose for it is if you were to hit something under the water, um, and if you were to hit it just right, that motor can actually break off of the motor bracket itself and end up in the boat with you. Generally, it will go. The motor will go as far as the cables that are all attached to it will let it. And typically speaking, that's right about the cockpit or a little bit in front of the cockpit in most bass boats. Um, so when you think about it, most bass boats with a 250 horsepower, you're talking 6,000 RPMs, wide open. And I don't know about you, Jim, but I don't think I want a stainless steel prop inches away from my face at 6,000 RPMs.
No.
Especially last year in August on the Bassmaster Elite Series, Wes Logan was involved in an accident at Lake Champlain. And in Lake Champlain, of all places, Lake Champlain, I've never been there, but I've heard stories, watched tournaments there, everything. And it's just a deep, clear lake,
Yeah.
a deep natural lake.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think really there's anything to hit. And where Wes had his accident was actually one of the deepest areas of the lake, from what I understand. They had a bad storm the night before, and several docks had actually broken off and were in that rough water and just right underneath the water surface. And they think that he ended up hitting a dock that had broken off, and there was just enough chop he couldn't see it. Going about 55 miles an hour, ended up hitting it. Fortunately, he had the leash on his motor,
Hmm.
and the motor actually broke off of the bracket itself, and the leash pulled it back down into the water. Wes he got thrown around in the boat, ended up having a few cracked ribs, a couple cuts, and everything like that. But he's still here today.
Right.
And if he didn't have the leash, there's really no telling. And so it's the leash is one thing that I stressed, regardless, if I were to get fired tomorrow from Precision Sonar, I would be still so passionate about the leash because of the horror stories that I've heard.
Yeah.
I hear more than the average guy, of course, because I sell the product. Um, and anytime I get in a boat with someone that doesn't have a leash, I mean, I'm holding on for dear life, because I just think about it over and over again. No matter how good of a boat driver that person is that's driving the boat, I just still think about it. You never know. When you're talking about potentially saving someone's life, um, that's a pretty sweet product to be able to sell.
Yeah, for sure. One of the other products that, and I didn't know anything about these until I met you and started talking about it, and they're going on all my graphs from now on, is the graph glass.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy talking about that because there's a great video that you guys did out there where one of your guys thinks like a 3/4 ounce jig, I
Yep.
think, and whips it at the screen. I mean, literally whips it. That's out there, guys. You got to see this. And it's got the graph glass protector on there, and he throws it at it several times. It's a 3/4 ounce jig, and it still doesn't crack the glass. That thing is so easy to put on. What I like about it is no matter what your graph model is, Precision Sonar, it's like your cell phone protector. But once you put it on there, I literally put all three of my graphs. I think I did it in 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was mostly lining stuff up and centering it and getting the air bubble out after I did that. And it's easier to clean. You don't have the greasy fingerprints on there all the time. It's and water spots come off so easy, literally taking my towel and just wiping at the end of the day. And the more water spots you get on your graph, a lot of you guys who do this all the time know it, the more glare you have, or the harder it is to see that stuff. And when you can clean it off that much easier. And the other thing is too, I've noticed with graph screens when I didn't have the graph glass on there, is when you go to wipe it off, they smear.
Yep.
And with the graph glass, it doesn't do that. But on top of it, because no graph company will warrant a cracked screen.
Yep.
They just won't. And so when you have that graph glass on there and it's not expensive, it's literally going to protect your graph, just like we've been talking about. But think about this, more people are upgrading their electronics now than they ever have before because of the price of boats. So if you want your electronics to last longer, an obvious thing to do would be to put that graph glass on it, wouldn't it, Ryan?
Absolutely. And it's funny that you bring up that video. I'll kind of give you a backstory and kind of a funny part of that video. So I had the idea um, to take a graph and put it on one of our brackets, set it there on the table, and then I would get up there and I'd take a jig and I'd flip it into that screen protector. And the idea that I had was, let's put a screen protector on here. We'll throw it up against the unit, and it'll crack that screen protector. We'll peel it off and show, hey, it didn't damage the screen. Because screen protectors, I mean, if anyone has one on their cell phone, which most people do,
Mm-hmm.
they know if they drop it, yeah, that screen protector can still crack. That's what a tempered glass screen protector is designed to do. Is it's supposed to take the impact and shatter, so that your actual phone screen doesn't have to, or in this case, your depth finder unit. And so I thought, cool, that'd be perfect. I'll flip a jig in there, show how easy it can happen. And so I get up and we get all the cameras set up and everything, and I start flipping this jig, and I flip it straight into the middle of the screen with this jig. And there's another guy sitting there holding the camera, and he's like, "It didn't break." And I'm like, "All right, well, we'll try it again." So he resets up the camera and everything. I do it again. I did it like 10 times, and it didn't break. And I was getting mad. I'm like, "Man, this is not good. Like, this isn't how I planned this to go." So I get down and I get up close. I said, "Heck with it. I'm just gonna cut the jig off the line, and I'm gonna start throwing it like a baseball at it. Like,
Now I'm pissed.
that's even harder than I can even flip this jig."
Yeah.
So I take the jig off and I start throwing it into the screen, and it's still not breaking. And I'm like, okay, this is not going the way I planned. I'm getting frustrated and everything. And he's having to set the camera up and cut it and everything. And then finally, after, I don't know, I probably hit the screen probably 20 times between flipping it and actually throwing it like a baseball. And finally, the screen protector broke. And so I was like, okay, well, I guess we can use that one cut, but like this still took way too long. And then it hit me. I was like, hey, like this actually was a good testament. It makes it a whole lot stronger.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here trying to break it and I still can't break it. And of course, everything there's variables based on how you hit it, what you hit it with, all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that go throw a 3/4 ounce jig into the
Right.
screen, by no means, but I was like blown away. Like I sell these things and I was blown away at how strong it was. So it's just a testament to the product. I mean, again, most people are spending $800 or whatever on a cell phone, and
Yeah.
putting a $40-$50 screen protector on there. Why are we not putting screen protectors on these units that cost two, three, four, five, $6,000?
No kidding.
And like you said, everyone thinks about the impact resistance of a screen protector, but it makes it so much easier and so much more enjoyable to use because you don't have to deal with those water spots and the fingerprint smudges and everything. And like you said, if you do get some sort of smudge on there, you can basically just take your sleeve and wipe it off.
Yeah. He said, okay, Jay Beffa just asked this question. If a grandkid would happen to bounce a jig off a screen protector and it would crack, when should you replace it? Good question, Jay.
Well, Jay's a good buddy from out there in Lake of the Ozarks.
Yep.
He's a hammer out there at Lake of the Ozarks.
Yeah, he is.
But if a grandkid were to bounce something off of the screen protector and it cracks it, we actually offer a 1 year replacement warranty. So you break that screen protector, we can get you a replacement. Within that first year. and generally we're shipping it out the same day it's ordered or the following day. So keep it on there just for that extra added comfort, but we'll get you a new one pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Jay's actually talking about one of his tournament partners. I don't know. I don't know. Well, I don't know. My buddy Vance Gordon, good info. I like tater tots. Yeah, strap that helmet on tight and stop chewing on those crayons, Vance. All I can tell you.
Yeah.
So, hey, we're gonna take a break. I love these guys; they're so funny. We're gonna take a break here. We'll be back in 2 and 2. We got some more products and some more fun stuff to talk with Ryan Kirkpatrick from Precision Sonar. We'll be back in 2 and 2.
Located in Springfield, Illinois' largest selection of sports and sportswear, hunting, fishing, specialty shops and services, a 65-foot Ferris wheel, 16,000-gallon saltwater aquarium, and industry-leading knowledgeable employees. You don't take chances at Shields, ever.
At Lure Parts Online, we have everything you need to make your own lures, tie your own flies, pour soft plastics, and more. Easy ordering ensures you get your products quickly. You can build all you need to create your own angling success at Lure Parts Online. Cast King, fueled by innovation through novel concepts and ingenious designs, markets directly to consumers with unprecedented cost-effective e-commerce practices, cutting costs by 30% more on average. Cast King empowers anglers of all skill levels to achieve things never thought possible. Find out more at castking.com. Mudhole is your number one source for custom fishing rods. Mudhole is the world's largest supplier of rod building supplies, information, education, and instruction. The best components and brands you trust, including MHX, CRB, American Tackle, Pro Products, Fuji, AFCO, and more. It's easy to build your own fishing rods at mudhole.com. With 25% of net profits donated to faith-based and clean water initiatives, Wire to Fish Coffee was founded by folks who love Jesus, a good day of fishing, and great coffee. With every bag of Wire to Fish coffee, you support clean water, the sport of fishing, and helping others with a better quality of life. Find out more, wiretofishcoffee.com. Believing quality is measured by lifespan, harnessing their unique chemistry, engineering, and know-how. Dakota Lithium lasts 4 times longer, powering your passions and backing it up with an 11-year warranty. Find out more at dakotalithium.com. Hi, this is Jim Crowley. Make sure to catch my other show, Jim Crowley Outdoors, where we travel across North America pursuing anything that swims. We always detail our equipment and techniques and more, all in the pursuit of helping you to become a better angler. Jim Crowley Outdoors can be seen on Wire to Fish TV Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on Sling, Flex, Sports Tribal, Bistro TV, Local Now, and more streaming stations.
And we are back with Ryan Kirkpatrick from Precision Sonar. Ryan, thanks again for joining us tonight. Really appreciate that. You know, with all the stuff that we've been talking about from Precision Sonar, I want to show just what you guys are known for a lot, and that is your mounts. And there are so many different ones to choose from that you guys have, 2 and 3 mounts, extendable mounts, all that. You guys have really got into stuff with forward-facing sonar and everything. And I honestly, looking at all the mounts on the market, and I see a lot of them. I'm sure I haven't seen all of them, but I've always liked the way that your guys are always finished off the mounts. They just look a lot more smooth, rounded, a lot more professional. And there was a lot that went into that for you guys, wasn't there?
Absolutely. And, kind of a background of where everything kind of started is, um, Alan, the owner, he started in the automotive industry with building checking fixtures for the automotive industry. So as new car parts would come off of the assembly line, they need checking fixtures to make sure that they're maintaining that same consistency throughout the assembly process. So um, the automotive industry is a whole lot more particular than the boating industry, and that's something that I have gotten to understand because there's a lot more variables, I guess you could say, in the boating industry. And so everything that we do is handcrafted by some of the best machinists in the country. They on the automotive industry, their main background is super tight tolerances. In the boating industry, we can get away with a little bit more, but that's not what they know. So everything is machined and built, here by some of the best machinists in the country, and we're able to we're able to machine it there in house in our machine shop, and then we powder coat it. We powder coat it with a black hammer tone finish. It's super clean look, and we've got a big huge laser etching machine. We're able to laser our logo in there, so everything's super clean. Once you get it set up there, I mean, it really looks like it's kind of factory. It doesn't look like an aftermarket product. So it's pretty sweet seeing everything put together. And like you said, with forward facing sonar, I mean, people putting 3-4 units at the console, 3-4 units up front.
It's
Again,
crazy.
anywhere from 5 inches all the way up to 22 inches. We've kind of done it all and seen it all, and look forward to someone putting a 30-inch screen on it someday, I guess.
It's going to act like a sail on the
Yeah,
front of the boat.
exactly.
It's what's. Hey, you know what? I've got a new product idea for Precision Sonar. If anybody can come up with a gas gauge for a boat that actually works and is actually accurate, buddy, I'm telling you, if you guys do it, I put the idea in your head. All I'm saying is I want a lunch out of it. But you know what?
Yeah.
We
What-
got it. I have never been in any boat where the gas gauge you got $100,000 boat and the gas gauges are never accurate. Precision Sonar needs to come up with something for a gas, buddy. I'm telling you, it's $1 million idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we're able to accomplish that, and there must be something difficult to it because it hasn't been done up to this point, like you said. But if we're able to accomplish it, it's most definitely $1 million idea, and we'll definitely go to lunch on me.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. Hey, I want to talk because we covered it just real quick when you can, but I love this idea. I
Yeah.
love the lock. Um, One, I think it's a fantastic incorporation of the logo. But tell us a little bit about it because you and I both used other locks, and there's some good ones out there. But just from the look of it, this looks a little bit more heavy duty to me.
Yeah, absolutely. There's other locks out there. There's several different manufacturers for
Yeah,
locks. So, and by no means, I don't believe in bashing someone else's
right.
product. But with our product, it's machined aluminum. And it's like when you pick up that lock, you're going to be like, "Dang, this is solid."
Yeah,
Um, and obviously locks, whether it be in your vehicle or in your house even or whatever, locks are to keep the honest people honest
right.
at the end of the day. If someone wants to get in your truck, they can break out your window and get in your truck. But the whole thing is making it as hard as possible on someone
Exactly.
to get it. And so by making it out of that machined aluminum, that heavy duty material, it makes it just that much harder for someone to access your units. And, like we said, guys are putting, most setups are 3 or 4 units and each one costing $3,000. I mean,
Yep.
tens of thousands of dollars worth of electronics. And you want to make it as hard as possible on someone to get their hands on that. So we're I mean, we've tested that lock for a while, and it's pretty neat. And like I said, you can kind of tell the quality once you pick something up. You can see a picture of it, and you're like, that looks like a good product. But once I get it in my hand, I'll be able to tell if it's a good product or not. And once you feel it and feel the weight of it, and it's a solid product, and something we're excited for. See what happens this year with it.
Yeah, and by the way, that reminds me, I got to order some of those graph straps from you too that keep the covers
Yep.
on there. Funny when I sold my boat this last fall, of all the stuff I showed the guy in the boat, and he goes, "Do the straps come with it?" And if that was a make or break deal, I'm going, well, you know what? The 3 straps are going with it, I guess.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
at this point, I wasn't gonna hassle over 3 straps. So put me down for 3 straps, would you?
We'll do it.
Um, and I really like those because that is a great idea. Because I know I'm not the only guy who is when driving down the road, and all of a sudden you see in your rearview mirror just and your graph cover
Yep.
goes goes flying right off there. So I actually came up with a really good storage idea in the boat, taking taking the lids off and putting the straps inside and putting them on top of one another. But it just makes it so much easier, and it's another protection thing. And I agree with you. Nothing. If somebody wants to break into the boat, they're gonna. But I'm gonna try to do everything I can to make it difficult for them, from the locks on my trailer to the locks on the boat to locking those graphs. It does give you a little bit more of peace of mind, because that's all a boat cover does do, besides protect it a little bit from the weather, is just keeps honest people honest.
Absolutely.
And those locks are, because we know how things could be nowadays. You go into a gas station, you'd hate to come out and one or two of your graphs be gone.
Yep.
And so having those locks on there. Now, is it just one lock per unit? Is that how you guys are doing it? Or
So
how does it work?
we're selling locks as singles and as pairs. So you can
Okay.
buy just one lock, or you can buy a pair of locks. Um, we recommend, of course, putting one lock on each side of the unit, and the locks
Okay.
replace the actual gimbal knobs that screw into the side of the
Right.
unit. So we recommend doing that where possible. Now, obviously, it's really popular to run two units at the console side by side. Well, you don't really want a huge gap in between your two
Right.
units. You run them pretty close in the middle. So a lot of times on the console, you can just run one on the outside and one on the outside of the other unit, and then just use your knobs in the middle. So that's extra security. But up on the bow, or even if you just have a single unit, of course, we recommend you use two. You can get away with one, but again, you're trying to slow that person down when they're getting
Right.
into your boat and getting into your stuff. So the more that you can deter that person, or the more that you can make it more difficult on them, the better off you're going to be. So you can get away with one. It's better than none, but definitely recommend putting one on each side of the unit.
One of the other products that I really like is and there are so many. And guys, if you, we're talking about a lot of different products. So if you just go to precisionsonar.com, it's going to be really easy for you to see, because there's a lot more stuff that we haven't brought up tonight. One of the other products I want to talk about is that Ninja Grass Blade,
Yeah.
and just such a really cool little thing that I really enjoyed last year, because it really did clear off the weeds off the prop. And can you explain a little bit about how that works? Because all it does is adhere to the base of your trolling motor, and it's just a magic little piece. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, the Ninja Grass Blade is great because it's a simple product. It's super simple. It's just an aluminum attachment that attaches to your trolling motor, and there's a piece of that aluminum attachment that extends out over the prop, where the prop meets the actual barrel of the trolling motor, and so that extension is sharpened, so it's like a lawnmower blade essentially
Hmm.
for your trolling motor prop. Anytime that prop picks up any sort of vegetation, it's going to run it across that cutting surface and chop it up real fine, so that as you're going through any sort of grass or anything, your trolling motor is not getting bogged down. And we've got a lot of guys that just run one, and one is great. But a lot of guys are actually now running two, one on each side, so just twice as much cutting. We had several guys in the Elite Series, that Florida swing. Several guys were running them on their trolling motor, going through any sort of vegetation. You just don't have to think about it. You don't have to pick your
No, it
calls,
works.
take all the grass off,
Yeah.
anything like that. And it just adheres with 3M marine grade double sided
Yep.
adhesive tape. So nothing crazy. As far as installation, just takes a couple minutes. You sand down the area that you want to
Hmm.
put that blade down, clean it off real good. We send an alcohol wipe. We
Yep.
send the 3M marine grade double sided adhesive tape, set that on the blade, set the blade down. We recommend 12 to 24 hours, let it set up,
Hmm.
and then you're ready to go. And I mean, once that 3M tape sets up, it's pretty
It
simple
ain't co-
knocking it
It,
off.
it ain't it ain't coming off, and we're going to be doing, after my boat is all set up this year. We're going to be doing some installation stuff. I'll do another installation video on one of the graph classes. I'll do another one on the Ninja Grass Plate, just because they are so easy to do. They're practical products that just flat out work. Nothing fancy, nothing gimmicky, nothing. They just get the job done. Now, if somebody wants to, let's touch on this before I let you go. I want to touch on custom mounts, because you guys do so much stuff. You've done them for my mirror crafts, and those were custom mounts. Now, if somebody, whatever boat they're getting, somebody gets a new boat or they get a used boat, whatever the case may be, and they want to get a mount, what is the process for them to go through and get fitted for a custom mount for their boat?
So of course we try and offer as many standard mounts as possible, but of course we can't offer everything as a standard. So in the case that we don't have the year, make, and model of your boat as a standard, um, there's a couple different things. If your boat has a console plate or a bow plate, you can take that off, send it to us, and we've got a big fancy machine that they don't let me anywhere near. It's super complex. We set that plate down, and a little pin will come down, and we're able to basically reverse engineer that plate, get the exact screw holes so that we're mounting into the same holes that were already there. We're not adding new holes if we can avoid it. And so we're able to reverse engineer that plate, get you a custom mount designed and manufactured. The other way, and Jim, I think you've kind of done both with two different
Yep.
boats. With this year's boat, we were able to get that plate, get it digitized. We got it all designed up, and it's basically a replica, except it's
Yep.
made of quarter-inch aluminum. Last year, or a couple of years ago, we had to get some measurements and everything like that, and pretty much we can do just about anything with just about two measurements. If you get a width measurement, take a picture with the tape measure laid across the max width, take a picture showing the max height of that flat area where we would mount a plate to. We've got programs that you can take those pictures, overlay it into the programs, and we can design a plate from there. And it's blows my mind. Again, I'm the sales guy. I'm not the engineer. I'm not the design team. So I'm talking with the customer. I get the pictures, and then I send it over to the design team, and they get it taken care of from there. I can't say enough good things about our manufacturing and design team and engineering team. They're they're mind blowing what they can do with just a couple pictures. It's crazy.
I've met some of them over there. You got some guys that are guys and ladies over there that are quite cerebral, man. They can put some stuff together pretty well, and they know their end around where you and I would be getting a headache just looking at it.
Yeah,
You
that's
know, hey, before we let you go, buddy, why don't you tell people where they can find out more about Precision Sonar, how they can go about contacting you and following you guys on social media?
Yeah, so of course, precisionsonar.com, our website, we've got all of our products on there. We upload any new products that we get onto the website. You can follow us on Facebook at Precision Sonar, Instagram Precision Sonar. We do some TikTok stuff. It's hard for me to wrap my head around the TikTok deal, but we're trying to do it as best as we can. We've got a YouTube channel, Precision Sonar. Um, and then also our phone number, 270-703-6133. We're pretty old school. We want to talk to our customers. We want
Right,
to develop a relationship with our customers.
right.
That's something that I don't feel like you get very much anymore. Everyone wants to set up a website, don't put any contact information on there, have someone swipe their card, and then that's it. We like today. I mean, I talked to a guy for a while about we talked about the mounts in the business, and then we talked about fishing, and that's what I enjoy about my job is getting to talk with the customers and all over the country, all over the world. I was dealing with a guy from Australia today, and getting to hear those stories, and it's pretty cool. So by all means, give us a call. We're more than willing to pick up the phone, have a conversation with you about whatever you're needing to get anything done on your boat. But also, we're all fishermen. We enjoy talking fishing too. So come with some fishing stories.
Yeah, and I can 100% attest to that because as far as the top and Alan at the top, even we've all talked about that before. It's so important to develop that relationship and develop that trust because you don't want somebody buying your product one time. You want them becoming a trusted customer that you can rely on as well for input.
Yep,
And the more time you put into building that relationship, the better it's going to be for everybody involved. And I can honestly say that everybody I've worked at with Precision Sonar knows their job, knows it extremely well, and it's just reliable products from, well, I don't know any other way to put it. Reliable products from reliable people.
absolutely. Well, we
You know,
appreciate that, Jim.
Yeah, and that's just as simple and as straightforward as I can be about it. Buddy, I'm sure I know how crazy it's been over there at the Kirkpatrick household, and I am so grateful that you took the time to come back on tonight. God bless you and your family, my friend. I look forward to checking out those new locks and some of the new stuff. Now we just get the boat together. We got the good stuff. Now we just got to get it together.
That's right. We're looking forward to getting all the pictures and everything after you get it set up, and looking forward to seeing it. And hopefully we'll get together and go fishing sometime.
Yeah, I like to do that. And good luck on the tournament this weekend, buddy. Hope you kick some butt.
I appreciate it, Jim, and thanks for having me on. And like Jim said, anytime anyone needs to get a hold of us, just reach out, and any sort of custom mount or whatever, just reach out to us, and we'll try our best and make your dreams a reality.
Precision Sonar is 100%. If you look at their customer review, it's almost 5 out of 5. I think it's like 4.7, 4.8 on customer reviews on Google. There's a reason for that. They stand behind what they do. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Thanks, Jim. Have
See
a
you,
good
buddy.
one.
Yeah, those I will tell you folks, more people are chiming in too. Ryan Kirkpatrick is a great guy. They run an honest, hardworking company. They really do, with absolutely fantastic products. David, hey, Dave, thank you. Thanks, Jim and Ryan. Wonderful show. Go Cubs. You saw that Cubs sign in his background, huh? I figured somebody was going to say something there. That's awesome. Let's get you guys some discount codes, right? And thanks everybody for joining in tonight. As always, it's sure a pleasure to have you here. Our friends over at Lure Parts Online, here's that discount code for them. Well, they're putting that code JC Outdoors 10, and you will get 10% off. We just posted that video today about our new Bass Academy line. It's been out for a while, but we're constantly adding new products to it. So please go check out Lure Parts Online, type in Bass Academy, and check out all the new products that we have there. There's some really cool stuff, and we're adding to it in the next couple of weeks. So put in that code JC Outdoors 10, you get 10% off. Our friends over at Cast King, well, everybody always wants this code right here, JC52AFF. That's 20% off anything and everything at Cast King. And I'll actually releasing a video tomorrow on gear ratio, where some Cast King stuff is figured in. So check that out on my social media as well. But yeah, you want 20% off anything and everything at Cast King? There's your code, JC52AFF. Wire to Fish Coffee, as we've told you a lot, but I'll give their medium and dark roast a try. This is some awesome coffee, and it always gets me right to the end of the show. Mm. There you go. So go check out Wire to Fish Coffee. Remember, they give back to the sport. They give back to our sport of fishing, plus faith-based initiative. God bless them for that, making people's lives better, one cup of coffee at a time. Check out Wired to Fish Coffee and put in that code SlickFish right there. You'll get 15% off. How cool is that? All right, great tasting coffee. Give you a little boost, and you save 15%. Our friends over at Mudhole there, as you sign up for the Mudhole newsletter, or your first order, I think is what it is, you get 10% off. All right, check our friends over at Mudhole. And if you're interested in rod building, make sure you check their videos, you check my videos. And remember, my signature series rod kits, which are the Ned Rig rod kit, the Jerkbait Wacky Worm, and the Bladed Jig Rod. Well, just look for Jim Crowley's signature series rod kits on there. Same rods that I fish. You get to build them the same way I do. And we've got videos out there to support it. So if you've got any questions, we are here to help at Mudhole. We want you building more rods, because you're never going to fish a finer rod than one you design and build yourself. That's our friends over at Mudhole. Over at Dakota Lithium, they're also giving us a 10% off discount code. How cool is that? I know lithium batteries can be a little pricey, but you know what? They got an 11-year warranty, and you get 10% off with that code right there, SlickFish10. As I always tell you, I would not have a show if it wasn't for all of you. God bless you all for tuning in to this show, to my other show on Wired to Fish TV, Jim Crowley Outdoors, as well as all our social media. And you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Until next time, my dear friends, thank you so much for your time tonight. It is always my pleasure. We'll see you soon.